section. In today's video, we're going to be checking out the Canon DM-GL2. We're going to be looking at some of the specs on this here camcorder, and then we'll go around and look at the physical features on it. And at the end of the video, I will show you some of the example footage with it, so you can get a good representation of what the video and audio quality sounds like. And at any given point, if you want to pick this camera up for yourself, as of recording this video, it is up on my eBay store still. Check the link in the description if you want to snag this camcorder for yourself. So let's get into these here specs. So the Canon GL2 came out in 2003 and it records onto mini DV tapes. I don't remember where the heck I found the information at, but a while ago I remember seeing some kind of information, or somebody on YouTube said that the Canon GL2 was produced all the way up to like 2009, which I think is insane. So yeah, this camera was produced for quite a long time. The Canon GL1 and the Canon GL2 were the prosumer style camcorders from back in the day. You did have the XL1 and the XL2. Those were kind of the more professional style ones. So this camera does have a 3CCD sensor on it. Generally, any kind of camcorder that has a 3CCD sensor on it is generally a very good camcorder. The minimum illumination for this camcorder is 0.37 on the lux scale, and the maximum shutter speed on this bad boy is 1 in 15,000. And the minimum shutter speed on it is 1 in 60. The minimum focus distance for this guy is 0.4 inches, so about a 1/4 inch. And it does have a hot shoe up on top that you were able to actually hook in Canon supported microphone or a Canon supported light for it. I think a lot of their modern camcorders actually still have this kind of feature, because I had the Canon HF-G40 and it had a cold shoe on it, so it wasn't hot, but then it also had a smaller hot shoe in the back, and you were able to plug stuff into it as well. So they've been doing this for quite a while. So the screen size on the viewfinder is about a 1/4 inch. 0.44 is what I found online. It is a colored viewfinder. The viewfinder pixels on it is 180,000 pixels, and it also has a 2.5 inch LCD screen on it, and the pixels on this guy is 200,000, so just a little bit more than the viewfinder has. I think the screen could be a little bit bigger for the size of the camera, because the camera is a little bit longer than the GL1, so I feel like they could have made the screen a little bit longer to kind of give you a bigger screen. So it's pretty much the same size as the Canon GL1, which I kind of hate. And it really looks the same on both cameras. So you're really not getting much better of a screen on the Canon GL2 than you would with the Canon GL1. So that's about it for all of the specs on this camcorder. We'll go ahead and go around the physical features of it and kind of explain what they all do, and kind of show you up close of what this camera looks like. So we'll start at the front like we always do. This camcorder does have a 58mm lens thread diameter on it, so any kind of filter, wide-angle fisheye lens you want to use on it, that is the size that you would need for that. It does have a 20 times optical zoom with a 100 times digital zoom, and this lens hood on the front does actually come off. If anybody out there has watched my Canon GL1 review, it comes on and off the exact same way. You just unscrew this little screw here and you twist it counterclockwise and it pops off, and to do the opposite, put it back on, you kind of have it at about a 45-degree angle, and then you twist it into place going clockwise, and then once it stops spinning, you can tighten down the little screw and it stays on. It also has a focus wheel here on the front. I believe you can also switch it to a zoom wheel if you don't want to use the rocker zoom and you want more of a manual zoom for it. You also have your auto and manual focus here on the front. Took me a little while to figure out where everything was, because I've been so used to the Canon GL1 that finding the spots where the buttons are on the Canon GL2 was a lot different actually. You have your ND filter on the front there, or your neutral density filter. The camera will actually tell you on screen if you need to turn it on or off, if it's too bright or too dark. You also have your audio gauge right here. Gauge? I don't know if that's what you call it. Your audio level indicator on the side, which I think that's kind of a stupid spot for it, because when you're looking at the camera, you're going this way. You're not looking at the side of the camera. I don't know, I just feel like that's kind of a useless spot, because you can also have your audio indicators on the LCD screen as well. So you can still monitor it on the LCD screen and not even have to look at the digital display on the side here. I think it's kind of just a waste of space. Again, they could have made a bigger screen. You have a button for your digital effects display here, on and off. And then once you turn it on, you can go through and select which one you want. And on the bottom, you have your manual exposure adjust wheel here, which is actually a lot different than the Canon GL1. This is one that is probably personal preference, but a lot of cameras with the exposure, it's like a wheel. You scroll down or you scroll up. And this one is more of a switch. It only goes up and then down. Kind of like the same thing as like your rocker zoom. You can only go up and you can go down. It's kind of like that. And I find that kind of annoying, because I find myself wanting to scroll down. You can kind of feel like a little nipple right in the middle for your finger to kind of catch on. And you can just kind of slide it up and down. So I don't really care for that much. I don't think it's as good as a wheel, in my opinion. I feel like you can't get as close to a fine adjustment as you could with a wheel. You have your white balance selector here. It does have tungsten and daylight, or indoor and outdoor. So one's more orange, one's more blue, and then you also have a custom preset that you can set on your own. Whatever you're pointing at, it'll kind of adjust the white balance to whatever you're shooting. More orange, more blue. You have one custom preset. So the custom preset, you can go in and choose, there's a few different ones in the menu, but for example, I actually chose to set it to zebra. On the bottom here, it does have a SD card slot there. From what I found on, I think it was on Canon's website when I looked at it, it can only take up to a 2 gigabyte SD card. Most cameras are for pictures only, but from what I understand from Canon's website, there's a fly in here, you can actually take videos to it, and you can switch it from SD card or to tape. From my understanding, you can actually record video to the 2 gigabyte SD card. A 2 gigabyte SD card isn't going to give you much video footage, so correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I did find that on Canon's website. So this is the first camcorder that takes tapes and can record onto SD card as well. You also have two modes here. You have the little green green rectangle one is more of an auto mode, and then a picture mode, which is more manual functions for it. The audio record level, you have auto or manual. If you set it to manual, then you also have there's little wheels, it says left and right, and they're little scroll wheels. You can choose the amount of audio level that you want for each channel. If you have this going out to a XLR port, I think you're able to actually plug XLR ports into the hot shoe as well. Yeah, it gives you a little bit more manual control for that. And then up on top, kind of, you have your record search buttons. So once you get done for recording a clip or something, you can push that and it'll kind of go back into the playback menu, rewind to a point, and then you can watch the clip without having to go into the actual VCR playback mode and rewind it and play that way. It's kind of like a quick way to watch your clip that you just recorded. Your power switch up here, a very Canon traditional spot for it. Even for their modern ones, like I said before, the Canon HF G40 has literally the power switch in the exact same spot as this, so very Canon thing to do. Another thing that I don't really care for about this camera is the screen. The Canon GL1 kind of, it clicked into place, and then you could just kind of pull on it and it would kind of pop back out. And I like that, it kind of just like snapped in. This one, it locks in place, so there's an open button you have to push, and you have to push it really far in. Kind of got to get like your fingernail in there. At least with this one, you have to really push your fingernail in there to actually get it to pop out. and then you can pull it out. And there's not really any buttons on the inside here. You have your playback speaker here for watching your audio back, along with your date and time code to turn that on and off or be able to adjust the time on it. But you're not going to be able to do that unless you have a battery in there on the inside. It's one of those little nickel-sized batteries goes in there. I don't know exactly what size or kind it's supposed to have, but yeah, you have to have that to keep the internal clock going. And if it's dead, then it won't go anymore. Now, the Canon GL2 is the exact same way as the Canon GL1 on the way that you would have to release the battery. So the way that you do it is you gotta pull the viewfinder out and then lift it up. And then there's this little switch button right here. You push it in and then you can slide the battery up and there's your battery. And for every camcorder, you do have your focus on the viewfinder to adjust it to your eye. And then along the back as well, you do have your audio video plugins. So you do have a LANC style remote plugin, a 2.5 millimeter jack for that. And then you have USB. You can plug it into your computer and download your pictures. I think this only works with SD cards, so if you do have video on your SD card, you can transfer the videos that way through USB as well, I believe. So you do have your FireWire, and then the yellow headphone jack is your AV out. It would have to be like a 3-to-1. Then you have your S-Video down here at the bottom. On top, you have your rocker zoom. The rocker zoom feels very similar to the Canon GL1. It's not touchy, but you don't have to push it super far for it to actually zoom in and out. So that's actually really nice. And then you do have your photo mode. Now, what's a little different with the Canon GL2 over the GL1 is the GL1, when you open the cassette deck, there's a eject button that you push and then the tape comes out. With this, you just open it up and it ejects it. And just like the Canon GL2 and the XL1 and XL2, a very Canon traditional spot to put your playback functions. Right up here on top where the handle is, it's just a little door. Opens and then has all of your playback functions, which I think is in a great spot. It doesn't make the camera look messy and doesn't clutter up other areas on the camcorder. It just is a very clean look and kind of protects the buttons from breaking and stuff like that. Keeps them clean. Also, on top of the filming handle, you have another photo button along with a record button and another zoom rocker. This one doesn't zoom as fast as the other one over here, but you can also adjust the speed on it. And if you don't want any of that to work, if you don't want to accidentally push record or take a picture or zoom in and out, it does have a switch here on the side, which is your lock switch. So if you have it in the lock mode, none of the buttons here on top will actually work. So if you want them to work, you got to make sure that it is unlocked. And then on the front, you do have your microphone, obviously. It is a stereo microphone, and I think it sounds pretty good. But you also have your tally lamp up here. There's a little light that will turn red when you start recording to let people know that you are recording. And last but not least, on the side here, you do have your external mic plug-in along with your headphone jack plug-in so that you can monitor your audio that is coming through the camcorder. And this little black one, I don't know exactly what that is. It's a DC 5 volt. Not sure what that is. I don't know if it has anything to do with like the XLR attachment that can go with this or what. If you do know what it's for, leave a comment in the comment section and I will pin it in the comments. So that is my take on the Canon GL2. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this camera is up on my eBay store as of recording this video. So if you want it, go check it out. It will come with a new battery, new charger, and a used tape. And if you already have a Canon GL1, GL2, XL1, or XL2, I will leave, they all take the same battery, so I will leave links in the description for batteries, chargers, tapes, and video converters that I use if you want to get your old camcorder working again, or if you have been lost on where to find any of these products. So with that being said, let's check out some of the video footage that comes out of this camcorder, shall we?
Good.
Oh, nice and cool, Riv. Oh yeah, that's nice. Oh, does that feel good? Very good. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully this was an informative video on the Canon GL2. If you liked it, make sure you hit like, and if you like the content, make sure you subscribe, because we talk about old camcorders on a weekly basis. And we will see you in the next video. Have a good one.